Hi there, welcome back to All Things Homecare. I'm your host, Dana Arnone, and I'm sitting here. I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to sit and speak with Assemblywoman Christine Pellegrino. You are representative of the 9th District?
Assembly District.
Oh, very good. So thank you. Welcome. We had met a couple of months ago at the Women Empowerment dinner that you had, and I was lucky enough to be a recipient. So it was very nice. There was a huge turnout. I was very surprised that all the women in the different avenues of of life, whether it be professional, personal. So it was and it's nice to be appreciated, especially by a fellow professional woman who thinks that sometimes women just need to say congratulations or good job. So I did want to have a conversation with you about the things that we're doing, and maybe that ties into some of the things that you're looking at in your what am I going to say? Help me.
My priorities.
Priorities. Okay, that's a
Yeah,
good word. Thank you.
absolutely.
So for us here, we talk about education a lot, and we talk about the perception of home care and health care. And myself, I mean, we're just one small little piece of the pie, but for me, I want to change how people view health care and home care. One of the ways that we felt would be a good way to do that was to get to the youth and to talk to the youth about, what a great job it is and how you can really help people and make a decent salary, whether you're going back to college or maybe not sure of a career path. So how is it that education, you were saying that you just got funding for some of the schools and stuff, so
Right.
I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
So one of my great legislative accomplishments for this session, which I was so grateful to be able to have a great legislative session, is to secure across the 9th Assembly District over $400,000 in legislative grants for schools. And one of the things that I ran on as a teacher is to get our fair share of funding. So from the budget of New York State, but then also to be able to provide additional funding from the Assembly,
Okay.
which is my personal directed grants, which I'm thrilled to be able to provide this year. Which gives opportunities for schools to fund programs and initiatives that they are either feel really passionate about or things that are being cut. Public schools are being underfunded, and this gives an opportunity to really assist. So I'm really excited to hear that you're going into schools
We
and
are,
that you're bringing
yes.
your passion of healthcare and home care, right to the kids. I feel like as a teacher, when you come to the classroom and bring opportunities to kids and you sort of teach them what they can do with their future, you provide them with ways of thinking about their future, whether or not they get directly involved or they just see what the possibilities are.
Yeah. I speak
it's
from my
great.
own truth because I was 19 and I was a home health aide. Then I was, I think I was a certified nurse's aide at 20, and I was working in a nursing home. So sometimes people think, oh, they're 18, 19, what do they know?
Right.
I was that person. And so for me, being a home health aide or certified nurse's aide, it would allow me to I believe that it gave me the, when I was filling out the information to get into college to be a
Right,
registered
right,
nurse, I feel like
right.
that really gave me an extra, thing over somebody else that was applying. Because this is
Absolutely.
30 years ago. It was a
Absolutely.
little different now. So
Yeah.
going into the schools for me and talking to these girls or boys that maybe think, oh, college is not an option for me.
Right.
It really, I think it's an option for everybody. So
Absolutely.
we're setting up, and maybe with the grants that these schools have, maybe they might want to talk to us a little bit more. We're trying to set up scholarships so that they can go to school to be a home health aide,
Right.
because it's not a cheap course to take.
Absolutely.
And so we're trying to help them get to maybe the next level in life that they didn't think
Absolutely.
about before.
And this is a great opportunity. So for kids that are thinking about this area of life, or maybe they're not thinking
Yeah,
about it
they
because
never
they
thought
don't
of it
know
before.
that this opportunity exists. And that's sort of like one of the things that happens, right? We know what's in front of us or what's around us, and just the extension of somebody coming in and saying, hey, why don't you consider this? And here's the great thing about a great benefit, a great wage, being able to work in an environment where you can provide a caring, loving kindness towards someone, and you have the protection of a great career and support system,
Yeah.
which
And
your
it's flexible
agency is
sometimes.
providing,
Yes,
the
we
flexibility
try.
of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
they-
I was so inspired by
thank
your
you. Thank you.
your,
But it's
your
true,
message
though.
and how you've crafted your business. I couldn't help but honor you as a woman of
Oh, thank
distinction,
you.
and I'm really so thrilled that you're here in Massapequa and that we're doing this for our community.
Yeah,
it's,
well, for me, Massapequa is, my husband was raised here, so I'm a transplant. But, the business is in Massapequa. We do a lot of work in the community in Massapequa,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're trying to get out there and talk to women that are
Right.
maybe stay-at-home moms. We
Right,
discussed this
right,
before,
right.
too, that never
And that's
thought, oh, how can I get to work?
That's another whole
It
like
is a
niche
demographic,
of
yes.
people who maybe didn't consider this as
Yeah.
an option, and that that very very similar to women who think about maybe going into schools as like a school aide, but this is something that people may not consider as possibility, and you're bringing that education to them as something that I think when they hear what it's all about, sort of changing the perception.
I hope
and that's
so.
really, I
Yeah.
think, very important.
Well, when people hear about, getting into becoming a home health aide, the stigma attached to it is that it's a low-level job, and
Right,
and to me, it's
right.
one of the most important jobs.
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
we're all going to need care.
Absolutely.
And so we're trying to groom the young people now
Absolutely.
into getting into the job and
Absolutely.
knowing what it's about, and just giving them, and I was very surprised when we went to a couple of the local schools. They embraced the concept so
Sure.
much, like they were so
Sure.
happy to talk to us.
Sure.
And they were so happy to hear that there's a company out there that wants to come and talk to them about how to educate their students and things like that.
Absolutely,
So I'm
absolutely.
glad to hear that there might be some extra funding for them because,
Sure.
not everything is free.
Or at least an opportunity to get them training. It's a step in, right? We always want to give our kids the opportunity to step in to a career. Get them on the right path to keeping themselves going forward, right? Every step forward is a step that we keep them out of trouble and making their way into, we have an affordability crisis on Long Island. We want to make sure that they're putting money in the bank and getting themselves set up. We want to keep our good people here on Long Island. We want to keep our communities whole. That's something that I feel very passionate about. And these really good careers are something that we're not talking enough about.
We don't. And the thing that I was, it used to come up a lot when people are talking about healthcare, and they're like, it's really recession-proof. And and when you think about it, it's a
Absolutely.
job that they're always going to
Absolutely.
have.
Absolutely.
Here in our company, you can work as little as 4 hours up to
Right.
live in 12 hours,
Right,
10 hours.
right, with great benefits too.
Very good benefits. That's the one
Right.
we were just talking about
and
before.
That's something that people may not
They
realize.
do not realize it. They don't realize that, every year the minimum wage for a home health aide it changes from like the traditional minimum
Right,
wage.
right,
So the salaries
right.
are going up. They're
Right,
making almost
right.
$14 and something cents an hour
And we
now.
were so thrilled to pass the the raising of the minimum wage,
Yeah.
which was considered to be controversial in some aspects, but here we are promoting great opportunities for people to earn a really solid minimum wage, and businesses are not
And they're helping
crumbling.
people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
to me, that's
what we
you're
want,
helping.
right?
You can go to home and
Right,
to your families
right,
and realize,
right.
oh, I just did something good today.
And that attracts really good people who
I hope so. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to really have it to where that the people that go into this job want to be in this job, and they're
Right.
not just doing it because they don't have
Right.
any options.
Right.
We're going in there talking about the
Right.
different options that they have, and like I it came to us saying, we really should talk to the high school students because
Absolutely.
those are the people that are going to
Right.
eventually be out in the workforce, sooner than
Right.
later. I was telling you that I had so many 16-year-olds come up to me asking about the future and asking about how they can do this and go, while they're going to college.
Right.
And these are kids that probably you wouldn't think were thinking along
Right.
this way. So
Right.
hopefully we can, do some work together, get
Yeah.
out there, talk to the high school kids and talk to them about
That's
the
amazing.
options that they have. And we're willing to help pay for them to go.
That's incredible. See,
Yes.
that whole aspect of like scholarshipping kids is very much like an apprenticeship, and give kids an opportunity to explore their interests and to give back to a person who needs care
Yeah.
and assistance. That's a great feeling at the end of the day. I think to be able to provide help and to earn a great salary.
Right.
You know.
That's why I said I'm like, would you rather do this or work at Burger King or work at
Right.
Walmart? I mean,
Right.
this is like an option that they have, and it's something that I started my career this way, so you never know where it's going to take you in the future. You could be sitting on a podcast.
Yeah. No,
Who knows?
it's so true.
Talking to
true.
Assembly lady.
When I was this age, I knew what I knew. You know, my parents were teachers, and I had a passion for teaching, and I went into teaching.
So what made you go into politics?
Well,
Should I ask that question? Is that a wrong question?
No, not at all, not at all.
Because it's nice to see a real person in politics.
I never would have considered leaving my teaching profession, except that I saw what was happening with chronic underfunding. It was happening in our schools with high stakes testing, and there, we were kind of going, and still are going in the wrong direction in terms of public education, and teacher evaluations and things that are really in need of advocacy, and taking a step into that world at that time many years ago took me into the halls of Albany and into legislators' offices to advocate for those things. And then I became more active and involved in my union to be really on the front lines of calling for more funding in public education. And then when the seat opened right after the 2016 presidential election, it happened to open up. There was a corruption scandal in the town of Oyster Bay. My predecessor became the appointed supervisor and left a vacancy. And I said, who would be better served to represent this district than someone who understands the issues of public education than a teacher who can really advocate for public education right from the seat in the chamber of the assembly, and that has been proven to be true, to deliver this year on a legislative agenda, not just in education, but on labor and the environment and on the opioid crisis.
Yeah.
I was able to deliver money for our local Yes Center, which provides critical resources for therapeutic services for those that are affected by the opioid crisis. I have great partnerships in government, the county level and the town across the 9th Assembly District, and I have a great voice in the Assembly and across Long Island, standing up for the environment and the South Shore.
So you just never know where your path is going to take you.
Never know.
You wake up
Never
one
know.
day, you're a teacher, then you're into this whole thing. See,
Right,
I feel the
right.
same way about our business.
And
Yeah.
what's better than, somebody who understands the issues, making and crafting the policies that directly affect you, right? So when you're advocating on behalf of your issues to the people who are crafting those policies. They're writing the agenda. That's one thing. But then to take the seat at the table and to be the person who's passing the law and to really have that voice, that's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And so for women, and right now we're seeing an extraordinary number of women become very active in the political process, and we see that taking shape all over the country and even all over the world. We see it happening in the labor movement. We see it happening in politics in general. It's transforming how we're thinking about the direction of our country, because when women are involved,
We get things done.
We get things done.
We
govern
done.
differently. We think
Yes.
about consensus.
Yes.
We think
Yes.
about our children. We
Yes.
think about the future development and the best interests
Yeah.
of for future generations.
Agreed 1,000%.
Right.
That's
I mean,
why
we,
you saw a baby.
We just saw the baby
Yes,
in the.
that's my mindset.
Absolutely. Walking
Yes.
into this office and
Yes.
seeing that mother
Yes.
caring for her 3-month-old right
Yes.
here in your
Yes.
office is the absolute
Yes.
inspiration of what
Oh,
we should
thank
all
you.
be
That's-
thinking
you
about.
should be.
Providing
Yes.
opportunities for women to get back into their jobs with the ability and the flexibility to have what they need
Yes.
when they need it, you know.
1,000%. And that wasn't staged, by the way. He's been here since he's
I
been born.
I
So
absolutely don't think
just so you know, that
so.
wasn't
That's
staged.
just
That's who we are.
That's just
Yes,
how
yes,
that's how we should be
yes.
thinking about.
That should be how everybody should be
you
thinking.
know,
That's
going
why I
into
think
the
that
21st century.
you've got to
really
how do you
good.
not empower people and have them, give them the opportunity
Absolutely.
to do what they need to do. You know, it helps me too because I get to hang out with a little baby all day, so it's very cute. So
Win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's a win-win. So and she's a star employee. I can't do my job. We can't
And you
be
want
them.
her here with a smile on her face, working
and she knows her
hard.
baby's taken care of. So
Yep.
and I get to be a grandma, so I'm happy. I want to say thank you. It's nice to see another woman who appreciates other women and helps, try to help women stand together because that's really what we're about here. We're an all-women organization. It wasn't planned that way. It just happened to be that way. And I'm always looking to bring more women into the field and to know that this is an opportunity that, I would never thought that I'd be sitting here as a registered nurse, but here I am. As an aide, I never thought I'd be a registered nurse. So you never know where it's going to take you.
There you go.
And you're the same type of path that you found in life.
Thank you
So
so
I wish
much.
you lots of luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're going to do very well. You
Thank
represent
you.
our district. It happens to be Massapequa very well, and so
Thank
we
you.
appreciate everything that you do for our community as well.
Thank you.
So we're going to say goodbye. This is Assemblywoman Christine Pellegrino. She is running for the 9th District of Assembly. How do you say it? Assembly 9th
Assembly
District. Okay,
District.
very good.
Yep,
So
the
go out
Fighting
there
Ninth.
and vote. What?
The Fighting Ninth.
The Fighting Ninth, is that okay? So go out there and vote. I love the fact that it's women empowering women and helping each other grow and just get through the day and just get through, give everybody an opportunity. So I thank you for listening in to All Things Homecare with Dana Arnone. Visit us at reliancehssny.com. And if you have any questions about, Assemblywoman's, how can they get in touch with you if they have questions or do they call you? Can they call Daniel? They'll call Daniel.
Absolutely. We're right on Park Boulevard. 510 Park Boulevard is our office. You're absolutely free to stop in anytime.
That's true.
And
I will tell you, I've walked in there several times to get her to come here, and they welcome me every time. So they don't close that door. And I've been there several times.
My red sign is out there with my
That's
name
true.
on the.
Love that. That's
on,
perfect.
on-
But thank you for coming. I
You're
appreciate your
welcome.
time.
You're welcome.
Take care.